the incarnation of Godhead to King Nimi. Shlok Sankhya 4. यत्काय एष भुवन त्रय सन्निवेशो यस्इन्द्रियस्तनु भृताम् उपयेन्द्रियाणि ज्ञानं स्वतः स्वसन्नतो बलम् ओजः सत्वादिभिः स्थिति लयोद्भाव आदिकर्ता यत्काय एष भुवन त्रय सन्निवेशो यस्इन्द्रियस्तनुभृताम् उपयेन्द्रियाणि ज्ञानं स्वतः स्वसन्नतो बलम् ओज इह सत्वादिभिः स्थिति लयोद्भाव आदिकर्ता Yes, Prabhuji's Srimad. Mataji's. Word to word meaning. Yatkaye, within whose body. Esha, this. Bhuvanatraya, of the three planetary systems making up the universe. Sannivesha, the elaborate arrangement. Yasya, of whom. Indriyai, by the senses. Tanugritam, of the embodied living beings. Ubhaya Indriyani, both kinds of senses. Knowledge acquiring and active. Jnanam, knowledge. Swataha, directly from him. Swasannataha, from his breathing. Balam, strength of the body. Ojaha, strength of the senses. Iha, activities. Sattva adibhi, by nature's mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. Sthiti, in maintenance. Laya, destruction, Udbhave and creation, Adikarta, the original doer. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Disciples of Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Within his body are elaborately arranged the three planetary systems of this universe. His transcendental senses generate the knowledge, acquiring, and active senses of all embodied beings. His consciousness generates conditioned knowledge, and his powerful breathing produces the bodily strength, sensory power, and conditioned activities of the embodied souls. He is the prime mover through the agency of the material modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And thus the universe is created, mented, and annihilated. Purport. When conditioned soul becomes completely exhausted by his strenuous activities, or when he is overcome by disease, death, or fear, he loses all power to manifest practical knowledge or activities. Thus, we should understand that independent of the mercy of Supreme Personal Godhead, we can neither work nor cultivate knowledge. By the mercy of Supreme Person of Godhead, the conditioned soul acquires a material body, which is perverted reflection of the unlimited spiritual body of the world. Thus, living entity engages in ignorant materialistic activities for society, friendship, and love. But the entire program suddenly vanishes with the unforeseen dissolution of material body. Similarly, our material knowledge is always subject to become dull, null, and void within an instant, since the material nature is itself constantly changing. The Supreme Personal Godhead is the prime mover behind the birth, maintenance, and destruction of the universe. And living entity should try to understand that the personality of Godhead, who has given him so much facility for illusion, the person of God actually wants the conditioned soul to surrender to him and regain an eternal life of bliss and knowledge at Lord's side. The conditioned soul, he should reason, if Lord is giving me so much facility to merge into ignorance, surely he will give even more facility to come out of this ignorance, if I humbly follow his direction without foolish speculations. This verse describes Garbhodakshay Vishnu, the second phase of the Purusha incarnation of the Lord. This Garbhodakshay Vishnu, who is identified in Purushukta prayers, expands himself as super soul to enter the heart of every living being. Through the chanting of the holy names of Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Even in this degraded age, one can find Supreme Lord within one's heart. Lord is a person as much as we are, but he is unlimited. Still, a personal loving relationship exists between the tiny living entity and the unlimited Supreme Lord. In consideration of this personal relationship, Bhakti Yoga is the only suitable process by which to come to the ultimate understanding of our constitutional position as eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunvitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Tadanti Sva Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsham Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parigana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamsham Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tushe Nama. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Randa Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nilanchala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balbhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namah. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyevacha paditanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakturinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Awesome. Hare Krishna. We are discussing from 11th canto. अगर मैं अंग्रेजी में क्लास दूंगा तो कितने लोगों को तकलीफ होगा? अंग्रेजी चलेगा? ओके. So here we are seeing there is conversation between Vasudev and Narada Muni. When Narada Muni arrived at Dwarka, Vasudev, father of Krishna, very nicely received him and inquired how he can be delivered from this material existence. And then he asked him to speak about Bhagavad Dharma. Then we see Narada Muni start speaking about conversation between Maharaj Nimi and Navayogendras. And there has been different discussions about what is Bhagavad Dharma, what are characteristics of devotee, what is Maya, how one can be delivered, even if one is foolish, how he can be delivered from this material existence. And there has been description about deity worship. And now here we see Maharaj Nimi is inquiring about various forms and incarnations of the Lord. And one of the Navayogendras named Drumila explains that, my dear Nimi Maharaj, you are asking about various forms and incarnations of the Lord. There are so many incarnations and so many forms of Lord. And their qualities are so many. So it may be possible by strenuous efforts that some genius person for years and years of hard work may be able to count number of dust particles on earth, planet. How much time it will take to count number of dust particles on earth, planet? Practically unbelievable. It's even if one spends entire 100 years, it will be very difficult. But still, Drumila says that it may be possible for extended period of time, if some genius person works strenuously hard, may be possible to count. However, it is impossible to count qualities of Supreme Person Godhead. About the number of forms, number of incarnations, and their wonderful pastimes and their wonderful qualities, practically impossible. Just like, can we count number of waves in the ocean? How many waves are there in the ocean? So we can't count unlimited waves. Similarly, there are unlimited incarnations. Like waves keep on coming to the shore, one after another, one after another. Similarly, incarnations keep on coming, one after another, to deliver the conditioned souls. So he said, It's practically impossible. Still, I will describe little bit. And then we see Drumila starts explaining about, first he starts explaining about Purusha avatars. So there are 3 Purusha avatars. First Purusha avatar is Karnadakshay Vishnu, or which is also called as Mahavishnu. From his pores of the body, unlimited universes come. When he exhales, universes come out, and when he inhales, all universes go in. So entire lifespan of entire universe is one breath of Mahavishnu. Brahma is born, Brahma lives his 100 years, and then Brahma is finished within one breath of Mahavishnu. Our Brahma lives for 311 trillion 40 billion years. So Mahavishnu's breath is, one breath is 311 trillion 40 billion years. No? One breath. So that is Mahavishnu, is really super Maha. Then that Mahavishnu Karnadakshay expands in form of Garbhodakshay Vishnu. When unlimited universe come from his body, in every universe, Lord expand himself as Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And he fills every universe half with his perspiration, and then lies down on this ocean, and Garbhodakshay ocean, and from his navel comes lotus, and top of the lotus Brahma is born. And then Brahma creates secondary universe. He creates this 14 planetary systems and 8.4 million types of bodies and all that things. And then again, Garbhodakshay expands himself into Kshirodakshay Vishnu as Paramatma, super soul, in heart of all living entities, and also in every atom, and also in space between atoms. So this is Kshirodakshay Vishnu. It is said like this body, what is value of body without soul? Is there any value of body without soul? There is no value. Similarly, there is no value of soul without super soul. If super soul is not in the heart, soul cannot do anything. Soul won't be able to remember his existence also. Won't be able to do anything. Practically, super soul is guiding soul. Mattan smritir jnanam apanam cha. His super soul is in every way helping at every moment. Without help of super soul, soul cannot actually function. Similarly, without Paramatma, this soul and this body is useless. Similarly, without Garbhodakshay Vishnu, whole material universe cannot function. So Paramatma, these 3 Paramatmas, Karnadakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay, they are extremely important for the functioning of this material world and all these things. So Durmila explains about this Purusha avatars. Then he explains about Guna avatars. Brahma, how he takes care of Rajagun. Vishnu, how he takes care of maintenance, and Rudra, Shiva, takes care of destruction. So he talks about 3 Guna avatars. And then he talks about Narnaran Rishi, how he was born. He appeared as son of Dharma and Murti, and how he performed amazing austerities in Badrikashram, and how one time Indra, by seeing the austerities of Narnaran, became fearful. He thought maybe this Narnaran Rishi will do so much tapasya, and then he will conquer my heavenly plans. So he was very afraid. So he sent Kamadev along with the entire entourage to disturb Narnaran Rishi. And Kamadev along with all his assets came, and they created beautiful spring-like atmosphere. They created a lot of beautiful situations to incite lust within Narnaran Rishi. But Narnaran Rishi is Supreme Lord himself. There is no lust in his heart. He is personification of love, so there is no lust. So he did not get agitated. And all this Kamdev and all this, they became very frightened. What will happen? But then Supreme Lord Narnaran Rishi just looked very affectionately towards Kamdev and called him, and very mercifully dealt with him. And Kamdev and all, they offered beautiful prayers. They said, "My dear Lord, you are Supreme Lord. You are so merciful. Though we offend you, still you are affectionate and compassionate. That is nature of Lord. That's why all great personalities and sages worship you." So later on we see this Narayana Rishi, from his body created so many beautiful women, apsaras, more beautiful than all the apsaras who had come along with Kamdev. And then Lord said, "You can take whichever apsara you want and present it to Indra and let her add on the Indra Loka." And then they selected Urvashi, most beautiful women who had appeared from the body of Narayana Rishi. And then they went and presented it to Indra and told entire story. Indra became very frightened and fearful of the offense. So in this way, we see Drumila starts telling about many incarnations of Lord. Matsya, Kurma, Vara, Narsimha, Vaman, all these incarnations. So, just by hearing about Lord and His incarnations, remembering about Lord, and one can get purified. And one's love for Lord can be awakened. And when one's love for Lord is awakened, this entire material existence fails to imprison the conditioned soul. He becomes liberated from this material world and can become eligible to go back to the kingdom of God. Yesterday, we are hearing from His Holiness Bhakti Vijay Bhagavat Maharaj about how beautiful form of Lord Jagannath appeared. How from 3 logs of food, the form of Jagannath was formed and all these things. How Indra Maharaj did the installation with the help of Brahmaji. That installation ceremony is celebrated as Snana Yatra. That is called as Appearance Day of Jagannath. So we see there are many pastimes describing about this form and about Rath Yatra of Jagannath. We'll discuss something about it. We see that Lord Krishna, he appeared in Mathura. He was carried by his father Vasudev to Gokul. He performed his childhood pastimes Gokul and Gokul Vrindavan. And later on, at the age of 10, 11, he left Vrindavan, went to Mathura. And all Brajavasis' hearts were broken. They were trying to stop Krishna. Krishna said, "Don't worry, I have some important work in Mathura. I'll do that, and within few days I'll come back." Krishna went, and in Mathura, Krishna killed Kamsa and other his associates. Ugrasen was installed as a king. And later on, Vasudev Devaki sent Krishna Balram to Gurukul Sandipani Muni's ashram. And again, Krishna came back. And we see later on, Jarasandha and company attacked Mathura 17 times. And Krishna defeated Jarasandha and company so many times. And then finally, Krishna felt this Mathura is not very safe. And he created another city, Dwarka, in middle of ocean. And we see how Krishna there married 16,108 queens. And he was living in Dwarka. And Krishna in Dwarka, he had expanded himself into 16,108 forms. So he had married 16,108 queens, and he used to stay individually, separately with every queen. It was not that Krishna staying with one queen. Jai Shishinitai Gauranga ki Jai. And other queens would have to wait for Krishna. No. Whenever Krishna would return from Sudharma Sabha, and when he was going home, one Krishna will expand in 16,108 forms. And then next day, again when he was going back to Sudharma Sabha, all 16,108 Krishna will become one. and go to Sudharma Sabha. Can anybody do like that daily? So this is Krishna. Most amazing. So when Krishna is staying in Dwarka with so many queens, all queens observed one peculiar phenomena, that when Krishna used to sleep in night, many times in night Krishna would speak something. Like sometimes people are sleeping in night, they speak something, blah 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 blah. Sometimes one may wonder what he's speaking or what she's speaking in night. How many of you have ever seen somebody speaking in night? So sometimes people dream and speak in night, Their eyes are closed, they are externally unconscious, but they are enthusiastically speaking sometimes. So they observed, all the queens observed that Krishna in night is always dreaming something and speaking something, And they're wondering why, it's not one day affair, regular affair. So many times when queens used to gather together and discuss, they used to discuss this thing. So they were discussing, Krishna is always speaking something about Vrindavan, about, Lalite, Vishakhe, Radhe, Govardhan, Yamuna, Nanda, Yashoda, all these things, What is this, And when all of them were discussing, they thought maybe we should inquire from Rohini. What is this Vrindavan? And who are this Lalita and Vishaka and Radha and all these things, So one day they invited Rohini and they described their concern that how Krishna in night keeps on talking about some things, and they are not knowing what is Krishna is speaking about it, what he is dreaming about. And when Rohini heard what they are saying, Krishna is always speaking about Vrindavan, speaking about Nanda, Yashoda, speaking about Lalita, Vishaka, Govardhan, Yamuna, Radha, and all that. So then Rohini said, he is deeply remembering Vrindavan and is feeling separation from Vrindavan, and therefore at night he is always speaking. Then they said, can you please tell us about Vrindavan and all his wonderful pastimes in Vrindavan? Rohini said, no, I cannot tell, because if I tell and Krishna hears, Krishna will not stay in Dwarka anymore, and he will leave Dwarka, and if he goes to Vrindavan, he will never come back to Dwarka. So there will be a big problem. They said, no, we want to hear. So we have to arrange something by which we can take care of this. How we can take care that Krishna doesn't hear this. We want to hear, we'll hear, but Krishna will not hear. We have to make some arrangement like that. Then they came with the idea that we should have some security guard who will stop Krishna, who will stop Balram. Now which is security who can stop Krishna and Balram? Then finally they identified maybe Subhadra should become a security guard and stop somebody coming in the hall, stop Krishna and Balram from coming. And Rohini can speak all wonderful pastimes of Vrindavan to all the queens of Dwarka. So then with this arrangement Rohini agreed, and Subhadra became the guard, and Rohini started her katha, Vrindavan Leela, and all the queens became absorbed in hearing these pastimes of Krishna from Rohini, and Rohini was also absorbed in speaking, and Subhadra also got absorbed in hearing the pastimes. She was standing at the gate and guarding the gate, but when he heard, she lost external sense and she went in great samadhi. She got so absorbed and she went in great ecstasy, bhava. And because of that ecstasy, her external bodily feature changed. Her eyes became so big, her hands went inside, legs went inside, and she became stunned. in ecstasy. And after some time, Balramji came, and when he saw from distance, Are, who is standing at the gate? And he saw that it's Subhadra. But he was amazed to see Subhadra in a stunned form. Her eyes were very big. Her hands had got inside legs. And he was wondering what happened. And when he was looking at Subhadra, that time he heard Krishna Katha, Vrindavan Leela going on. And when Balramji heard about Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, he went in ecstasy. He became stunned. He got deeply absorbed. His eyes became dilated, became big. His hands went inside, legs went inside, and he also became stunned like Subhadra. He lost external sense. And after some time, Krishna came. And when Krishna saw, Are, who are they standing in the gate? Then he came close, he saw, this is Balram and Subhadra. What happened to them? Why they have become stunned like this? And when Krishna was just thinking, that time he heard Rohini describing beautiful Vrindavan Leela and describing about so many wonderful Vrajavasis and their loving reciprocation with Krishna. And when Krishna heard about Vrajavasis and all wonderful pastimes of Vrindavan, immediately he was transported to Vrindavan. He himself became stunned. He went in ecstasy. And because of that ecstasy, his eyes became dilated, eyes became very huge. His hands went inside, his legs went inside. He also got stunned. So this was the effect of hearing Vrindavan Leela from Rohini. That time Narad Muni came, and when Narad Muni saw Krishna, Balram and Subhadra in ecstatic form, he had never seen this beautiful form. He started jumping and dancing and started singing. I have seen, I have seen, I have seen. And when Rohini and all queens heard Narad Muni's voice singing, they came outside. What happened? And they saw Krishna, Balram and Subhadra in different form. Very amazing form. And Krishna, Balram, Subhadra, they were all absorbed in ecstasy and they were stunned in ecstasy. So Narad Muni was singing and dancing. I have seen, I have seen, I have seen. And because of Narad Muni singing and dancing, Krishna, Balram and Subhadra came back to external consciousness. And then they welcomed Narad Muni. Krishna welcomed Narad Muni, made him sit nicely and tried to serve him. And then Krishna asked Narad Muni, how I can serve you? What blessing does he need? And Narad Muni said, my dear Lord, you have already blessed me. You have showed such an amazing, beautiful, ecstatic form of yours. I want whole world to see this beautiful form and get blessed. So this is actually saintly person. We see Narad Muni is always thinking about everybody's deliverance. He is not only thinking of himself. And because of this Narad Muni desire, then Lord said, okay, Narad Muni, in future, I will appear in Jagannath Puri, in Daru Brahma form, in this Jagannath Baldev, this form. And all people in the world will get opportunity to have my darshan in this ecstatic form. So this Jagannath Baldev was a special form, ecstatic form of Krishna. And yesterday, Bhakti Vijay Maharaj explained how Indra Maharaj, with the help of a special carver, Vishwakarma, he carved this beautiful form of Jagannath Baldev, and then later on it was installed by Brahmaji. So there is angry Krishna in form of Narsimhadev, and Jagannath is dancing, ecstatic Krishna in ecstasy. There is also a story about Rath Yatra. Now after a few days, We are going to celebrate Rath Yatra on Friday after 3 days. We see in Srimad Bhagavatam this description how one time there was solar eclipse and all the Dwarkavasis decided to go to Kurukshetra. That time Krishna sent message to Brajavasis also. So all Brajavasis also decided to go to Kurukshetra. Also, we see Hastinapur Vasis. They also decided to go to Kurukshetra. So all this devotees around the world assembled at Kurukshetra for this special occasion. Like we see this February this year, crores of people came to Kumbh Mela, Mahakumbha. Similarly, so many people came to this special occasion at Kurukshetra. So Kurukshetra is a holy place, Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. On special days like solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, all these days, people go to the holy places, perform holy activities. They stop their materialistic activities. They absorb themselves in spiritual activities. So we see all Vrajavasis were there, all Dwarkavasis were there, Hastinapur Vasis, everybody was there in Kurukshetra. That time, after many long years, Vrajavasis got opportunity to see beautiful form of Krishna. Krishna had told, I'll just come in few days, but then few months passed, few years passed, many decades passed, and Krishna did not come. And after long time, Vrajavasis were seeing Krishna, and especially gopis were seeing Krishna. And when gopis saw Krishna, they were one way happy that after many years they were seeing Krishna. At the same time, they were not happy because they were seeing Krishna in a royal dress. They have been habituated to see Krishna as a cowherd boy, wearing a forest garland, wearing Vaijantimala, wearing peacock feather, having flute, and having simple dress. But here Krishna was having armor, having golden helmet, golden dresses, and all the royal paraphernalia. So they were not very happy. And then Brajavasis and especially gopis started praying to Krishna. Oh my dear Krishna, we are after so many years we are meeting, but we are not happy to see you in this. We want you to see in your cowherd form in Vrindavan. And therefore they decided to pull Krishna's chariot to Vrindavan out of love for Krishna. So, devotees' love for Krishna is amazing. Materialist people's dealings and devotees' dealings are sometimes different. Sometimes we see if a materialistic person is sitting for honoring prasadam, and we see first service made, and then different items are served, and wonderful sweet is served, and a material person wants some second service. He will tell, "Arey, just see, here somebody should serve this person. Either jalebi de do thoda, either thoda balushahi de do, either thoda, give, So he will tell others that give them, It is actually his desire to eat nice sweet, but he will not say give to me. He will say, what will say? Inko dijiye, unko dijiye, sabko dijiye, Second service hona chahiye, hai na? So, and sabko dene ke baad, arey, idhar bhi thoda dijiye. So, generally, material person wants himself to enjoy, so he may make a plan. Now, let's, अभी भगवान he wants to enjoy, so अभी चलो लड्डू गोपाल को हम अभी एक बड़ा feast खिलाएंगे. Not that he wants to feed लड्डू गोपाल, but he wants to eat so that he thinks about, Similarly, चलो अभी just, So people think of enjoying themselves, and then sometimes they feel little shy. Especially in civilized circles, they say, okay, inko bhi seva karo, and then one gets. But in spiritual realm, devotees have different consciousness. Like we see coward boys, they are passing by Talwan forest, and they smell beautiful Talwan fruits, fragrant, very nice. So immediately they are saying, "My dear Krishna, we are very hungry." Actually, they are not hungry, but they are thinking, "Oh, these fruits are so nice. It would be so nice if we can feed these fruits to Krishna." So they had no desire to eat food. They were not hungry, but they were thinking, "Oh, these fruits are so wonderful. If Krishna eats, Krishna will be so happy. And if we tell Krishna, please eat, he may not accept." So they were saying, "Oh Krishna, we are very hungry. We want to enjoy fruits. Please, Krishna, oh, you want? Let's go, And then they go and, later on we see how they kill Dhenukasura and company and all that things. So this is a different realm. In material world, people think of his own sense gratification and then he may offer something to others. But in spiritual realm, devotees actually think about Krishna's enjoyment. But then they tell that actually about their own these things. Similarly, these Vrajavasis and especially gopis, they are saying, "Oh Krishna, we are not very happy seeing you here." Because actually they know Krishna is not happy in this royal this thing. They know if Krishna comes to Vrindavan, he will be most happy. They are not worried about their own happiness, but they are worried about Krishna's happiness. And they knew Krishna is most happy in Vrindavan. So therefore, they are saying, "We are not happy to see you here. So please come with us." And they are dragging Krishna from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. They are pulling the chariot. So this is Rath Yatra. Similarly, there is another pastime which Gaur Govind Maharaj and also Bhakti Chalak Maharaj explains how one time similar thing happened when Krishna became unconscious, and then they were thinking how to bring Krishna back to consciousness. And Narada Muni comes and then he says, "Oh, okay, I can bring him to consciousness, but then when he comes back to consciousness, he will want to go to Vrindavan immediately. So we have to make some arrangement." So we have to make arrangement first. Then they made arrangement of 3 raths for Baldev, Subhadra and Krishna. And then we see how when Krishna came to consciousness, then he wanted to go to Vrindavan. But before he goes to Vrindavan, they were concerned that because Brajavasis are in so much separation from Krishna, if Krishna goes and sees them in such a pitiable condition, Krishna's heart will break. So they thought that Balram should go and inform all Brajavasis, so they are ready. But Balram said, "If I go, nobody will believe me because I already went and told that Krishna is coming, but Krishna did not go." Then it was decided that Subhadra should go with Balram because maybe if Subhadra explains, especially gopis will trust Subhadra. So therefore we see how Balram chariot first goes, then Subhadra chariot, and then Krishna chariot goes. So that is from Dwarka to Vrindavan. So there are many such pastimes of Krishna's chariot being pulled from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan or Dwarka to Vrindavan. Therefore, this Rath Yatra pastime of Jagannath, where Jagannath ji leaves Shri Mandir, main temple, and goes to Gundicha Mandir. Shri Mandir is compared with Dwarka or Kurukshetra, and Gundicha Mandir is compared with Vrindavan. So devotees are pulling Krishna from Dwarka or Kurukshetra, from there to Vrindavan. So that is the mood of devotees. And we see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in mood of separation from Krishna. He is in mood of Srimati Radharani. And Jagannath is in mood of separation from Vrindavan, from Brajavasis, from separation from Radharani. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every year participate in this pastime this was the climax of all his wonderful pastimes, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing in front of Jagannath and pulling his chariot towards Gundicha or Vrindavan. And seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing in front of Jagannath and chanting was one of the greatest ecstasies for the devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself would organize wonderful kirtans. He had 7 kirtan parties, and he had assigned who will dance in which kirtan party, who will sing in which kirtan party, who will play mridanga, and they would make circles and dance so many. And sometimes all 7 parties will become one, sometimes all 7 parties will be different, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would dance. And we see Pratap Maharaj one time saw how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing in all 7 parties, in 7 forms. And then afterwards, all 7 parties became one, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also became one and danced there, So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing god and his ecstatic dancing in Jagannath Puri in Rath Yatra is most famous. So, Mahaprabhu himself participated in Rath Yatra and all his associates participated. So, this is a very special festival. But at least people may not know what it is. Many people come just because so many people are coming. Some people come for business purpose. Some people come for stealing purpose. Some people, different people come for different purposes, whatever. And Lord fulfills everybody's purpose. But devotees go with this mood, following footsteps of Lord Chaitanya, trying to pull Krishna from Dwarka to Vrindavan. His Holiness Gaur Govind Maharaj says, actually we should perform this Rath Yatra every day. Every day calling to Krishna to our hearts. Oh Krishna, please come and reside in my heart. But before that we have to transform our heart into Vrindavan, we have to clean our heart. So before that there is Gundicha Marjan festival, The day before Rath Yatra there is Gundicha Marjan. And we see how Lord Chaitanya personally demonstrated how to clean Gundicha. So how to clean the heart so that it becomes a fitting place for Lord to reside. Otherwise, if heart is unclean, how can Lord be invited in unclean heart? And even if Lord comes, he won't be happy. So devotee wants to clean the heart. Especially, one can clean heart by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And engaging our body, mind, and senses in service. So Rath Yatra is coming. It's a great opportunity to serve Jagannath. And Prabhupada started this Rath Yatra festivals everywhere in the world. Especially, this was one of his preaching programs. And somehow, wherever Prabhupada started Rath Yatra, they became very famous. And thousands of people actually attend Rath Yatra. Now practically all the major cities in the world have this Jagannath Rath Yatra. In that sense, Prabhupada made Jagannath really Jagannath. Earlier Jagannath was famous only in Odisha, maybe Bengal. I was in Maharashtra in my childhood. I didn't know Jagannath. I remember as a small boy watching on television some Rath Yatra, and they were mentioning some tribal god is there. And I remember as a small, maybe second standard, third standard, something, they were showing in television about how I have still memories. And the commentary I remember, these are tribal gods in some remote part of Odisha. There are these people, they worship some this crazy pictures. Nobody can make what sense about that, features and all these things, and different people have different understanding of it. What is, but anyway, it's a very, very local, great this thing. So I didn't know that it's Krishna, and it was, they were saying it's a tribal gods festival and something, But when I came to ISKCON, actually I came to know this Jagannath Krishna himself, and how Prabhupada made this Jagannath so famous. So we are really blessed by mercy of Prabhupada. We are getting opportunity to serve Jagannath. So I'll just read one story from book of His Holiness Bhakti Pushtam Maharaj. This is story from Chaitanya Mangal. So, from Chaitanya Mangal, this is translated in English. So, I just read. Lord Gauranga, non-different from Lord Jagannath. There was once a South Indian Brahmana named Ram. He was poor and miserable because of starvation. His body was just a bag of skin and bones. His stomach burned from hunger and he couldn't tolerate his severe poverty. One day he thought, how can I get free from this misery? In my past life, I must have committed many grievous sins and now I am suffering for it. I know I must suffer my lot, but somehow I wish I could mitigate my miseries. Brahmana knew that only God could change his karma and give him relief. He heard that Lord Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, was residing in Nilachal. So he went to see him to beg for his mercy. Again the Brahmana thought, I am a poor Brahmana suffering from starvation. Everybody says that Krishna is very dear to the Brahmanas, but due to my offenses, the Lord is ignoring me. Therefore, let me just give up this worthless life. In due course, the Brahmana came to Nilachal and took darshan of Lord Jagannath. Brahmana prayed, my Lord, I am a poor Brahmana dying of starvation. I have no one but you. Please save me from the misery of poverty and give me wealth. That day, the Brahmana begged a little food to eat. The next day, he returned to the temple and prayed, oh Lord, this Brahmana is suffering terribly and is about to die. Please remove my poverty and give me abundant riches. I beg you to give me the boon of wealth. Otherwise, I will kill myself right before your eyes. The Brahmana started fasting. Meanwhile, Lord Gauranga sat peacefully, surrounded by his intimate devotees, joyfully singing the glories of Vrindavan. Suddenly, the Lord, feeling aggrieved within his heart, fell silent. Although Brahmana kept fasting for 7 days, Lord Jagannath did not respond. Severely weakened by fasting, Brahmana decided to drown himself in the ocean. Standing on the shore, he asked the sea to give him a place. At that time, a huge person, as tall as a mountain, suddenly emerged from the ocean. The Brahmana wondered about the identity of that person who had come from within the ocean waters. Brahmana watched the huge man walk out of the ocean and onto the beach, where he assumed an ordinary size. The Brahmana said, hey, this man must be Lord Jagannath himself, because who else could just appear from the middle of the ocean? Then the Brahmana chased that man for a some distance along the beach. The man stopped, turned around and said, who are you and where are you going? Tell me exactly. The Brahmana said, I am weak from fasting for 7 days. After seeing you, my life is now successful. Tell me frankly who you are and don't deceive me. Otherwise, you will be responsible for killing a Brahmana. The man said, why do you want to know my identity? I am whoever I am. What business is it of yours to know who I am? Anyway, why are you starving to death? The Brahmana said, I am suffering because of my extreme poverty. I can't maintain my Brahminical status. I pass my days and nights without eating. My family doesn't care for me. I have no shelter. I prefer death to life. So I am committing suicide by starvation. Hearing the Brahmana's plight melted the heart of that great personality. The man said, oh Brahmana, listen, my name is Vibhishan and I am going to see the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath. You are suffering because of your past sins, bound by the results of their karma. People in this world suffer or enjoy. They become free from their karma only after experiencing the results. With loving devotion, go and see the smiling face of Lord Jagannath. Then you will never undergo any miseries in future lives. After saying this, Vibhishan started walking towards the temple. The poor Brahmana walked behind him. Meanwhile, Gaurhari, who was sitting among his assets, asked Govind to see who was standing at the door. Vibhishan was there with a Brahmana. Govinda came back and told Gauranga that two Brahmanas were waiting by the door of Tota Gopinath's temple. On Gauranga's order, Govinda cordially greeted them and led them inside to meet Lord Chaitanya. One Brahmana guest sat beside the Lord, and the poor fasting Brahmana remained at the distance. To everyone's surprise, Gauranga affectionately addressed the Brahmana sitting beside him. After a long time, I am seeing you again. Mahaprabhu and the Brahmana cried profusely. Then Lord caressed the Brahmana with his beautiful hands and inquired about his well-being. None of Lord Chaitanya's associates knew this Brahmana, nor did they understood the conversation. Lord Chaitanya said to his friend, the Brahmana sitting beside him, "You know that Brahmana standing in the back is suffering miserably. He lost all his wealth. He lost all his knowledge due to his poverty. As a result, he came here harassing and blaming Lord Jagannath for his difficulties." It is the nature of people to never find fault with themselves. After doing something wrong, they blame the Lord. When he suffers from his misdeeds, he accuses God. But when he enjoys happiness, he says it's due to his own good qualities. The Brahmana intended to die by fasting for the last 7 days. What can Lord Jagannath, who is dear to Brahmanas, do for him? However, seeing you has removed his poverty. So now, give him an ocean of wealth and make him happy. The friendly Brahmana said, "Yes, my lord, I shall do as you say." After paying obeisance to Lord, the two Brahmanas left. Lord Chaitanya's associates were totally perplexed by this exchange between Lord and the Brahmana. Meanwhile, outside, the poor Brahmana inquired of Vibhishan, "You told that sannyasi that you are a king Vibhishan? After paying obeisance to that sannyasi, why did you just leave without visiting the temple of Lord Jagannath? You promised to obey the order of that sannyasi. Who is he anyway? Please tell me. I am a poverty-stricken Brahmana. Don't play any tricks on me." King Vibhishan said, "Listen, you foolish dull-headed Brahmana. You just saw Lord Jagannath in person with your own eyes. Your desire to attain vast wealth has already been fulfilled. Now I will take you home through South India, Dravid Desh, and give you that wealth." Hearing this, the Brahmana hit his head in anguish. Then he collapsed on the ground, clasping the feet of King Vibhishan. Brahmana said, "Please take me back to meet Lord Chaitanya again. I know I am an ignorant Brahmana, but let us return to see the Lord." Agreeing, Vibhishan brought him back to see Lord Chaitanya. Upon seeing Brahmana appear again, Lord Gauranga said, "Oh, why did you come back?" Vibhishan said, "My Lord, ask this Brahmana the reason." The Brahmana said, "O respected Goswami, I am ignorant. My Lord, you are the life and soul of innumerable living entities. Actually, you are Lord Jagannath himself. I am the lowest and the worst offender. Due to my bad karma, I am suffering from poverty, disease, and other miseries. Because of my impoverished condition, I came to you and asked for wrong diet. Despite my distress, I don't have any taste for medicine because I was attached to wrong diet. But you are the best doctor. So please give me the correct medicine. I am dying from misdeeds of my previous life." Hearing this confession, Lord Chaitanya laughed and said, "Lord Jagannath did you a favor. Go ahead. Now suffer what you deserve, either happiness or distress. Ultimately, you will attain the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath." After hearing this, the Brahmana offered dandavats to Lord Gauranga. The devotee chanted Haribo. After receiving the boon, Vibhishan and the poor Brahmana left the house in a joyful mood. So this is the pastime in Chaitanya Mangal. How this Vibhishan came to meet Lord Gauranga, and Vibhishan revealed to that poor Brahmana how this Gauranga is actually Lord Jagannath and he is not just an ordinary person. So in Jagannath Puri, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Jagannath, he is Krishna himself. Jai Gaura, Sai Krishna, Sai Jagannath. And he is dancing in front of Jagannath. And he is also teaching how we can receive Jagannath and how we can pull Jagannath chariot and take him to Vrindavan. So, following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada and our parampara, let us very enthusiastically participate in upcoming Jagannath Rath Yatra. Jagannath Rath Yatra Mahamahotsav ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you very much.